Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Yours truly, Amar Mari. I'm the founder of El Kebalan Unity Alliance. My queen, Amani Mari, is the co-founder. And we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. Additionally, the knowledge of self. I just got cleaned up by my personal barber, Barber J at Crisp and Clean Barbershop. I believe in supporting my brothers and sisters within the community that provides good service. And as we all know, we need to keep the dollar circulating within the community so we can keep each other in business, and also we can hire one another. So it's very important for us to support each other so we can all establish generational wealth. That being said, we have to be willing to make a sacrifice in order for us to be able to have life. The only way that we can live, we have to be willing to die. So many people, they are afraid to honestly lay down their lives so that their family can be free. So many of us are afraid to do that. We got to be willing to stand up and to be able to make that sacrifice. You know, we wouldn't be where we are today if our ancestors had not done so. And they were uncomfortable so that we can be comfortable. They laid down their lives so we can have a better life. You know, so I believe, you know, that this is something that we should do, is to support one another, stand by each other, ensuring that we are raising our children to stand up for what is right. If you haven't watched the movie, How They See Us, I encourage you to do that. It is so important, man. Unfortunately, Antron's father told him, you know, to tap out. Instead of to stand up, he told him to sit down. And that's so sad. You know, our men have been emasculated by slavery. We have been emasculated by gangster rap and alcoholism and drugs. We've been brainwashed, man. And so what we have to do is we have to ensure that we're teaching our young people to stand up for what's right, no matter what the cost. And so many people that even are business owners, they are afraid, all right, to stand up for what's right. They're afraid to lose support, okay, because of them speaking out against racism. We can't be afraid to do that. Had our ancestors done that, we would not be in the position that we're in, although we are still fighting against discrimination systemically and also physically. We see that via police brutality, the lies saying that we had guns, we was reaching for guns, their lives felt threatened, using the stand your ground law. Listen, man, I believe we need to stand our ground. The law of morality is the right to stand our ground in that arena. You know, so we need to stand up for ourselves. Okay, we need to fight. We have to be willing to go through, man. Listen, when I stood up for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when they had banned him for Facebook, I promise you my viewership, I promise you the likes and the lovers went down. You know, we can't be afraid to stand up for what's right. I understand that there's no way possible we're going to be broken free by not rebelling against a system that persists on incarcerating us. I will say this, and I will continue to say this. We should never allow them to champion George Washington. George Washington Carver is one of our champions. We should never allow them to champion Benjamin Franklin. You know, Benjamin Banneker is our champion. This is the reason why it's important for us to be able to start our own school systems. This is why we need resources, because the teachers had to be paid. We had to pay for the facilities. And we have to also stop thinking that because our brothers and sisters and elders alike get in political power, we expect for them to revolutionize decades and centuries of oppression over a 4-year to 8-year time span. That's not being fair to them as well. Okay, we have to be realistic about it. We need to all pull together, stop all this arguing and fussing and fighting and, you know, things of this nature. First of all, even when it comes to our culture, we must understand we have to be very careful about that as well. Because some traditions within our culture still oppress our women, such as genital mutilation. Okay? And if you study some cultures, you will come to find that some of our women are still being oppressed even by our own and not by the Caucasian man. It's because of a system traditionally that's been in place for centuries, even decades in some situations, all right, that still oppresses them. So what we need to stand up for is what's right. If it's not intellectual, then it's not embraceable. And that's just the bottom line. So we can't be afraid to stand up for what's right, being afraid for the backlash of what somebody's going to say that's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I only waste my time with those type of dialogues. If you don't want to learn, then you need to keep stepping. And that's just the bottom line. I have no time for people who have shallow thinking and they can't comprehend these very simple things. All right? So ensure that we educate our children properly. They don't need to be saluting the flag that was implemented during the time our ancestors were still enslaved. They can take a knee and we should stand behind them doing so. That is a problem. And this is why we need our own schools so our children won't have to deal with that. We should have an RBG flag in there. Why? Because it represents all people who are children of the motherland. Bottom line.